Hello everyone. I attended an interview at a company called Express Healthcare, and the company location is Vadodara, Gujarat, and the interview date was the October 28, 2025. So the first round was the telephonic round on 28th October 2025. So they asked me date function in PHP. So date and in the bracket capital Y, capital M, and capital D. And these terms will separated by hyphen. Okay. If you want to show time also, then date capital Y hyphen M hyphen small d and space capital H colon small I colon small s. So this will show date as well as the time. They asked me count function. So PHP count, let us suppose you have one variable dollar result equal to a comma b comma c and echo count dollar result. So it will show the output, it will return the output 3. So used to count elements after data comes to PHP. If we talk about the MySQL count, so used to count rows directly in the database. So select count in the bracket asterisk from users. So this is much faster, no need to fetch all records and best for the large tables. So the bottom line is count function in PHP counts array elements after fetching data, whereas count in MySQL counts rows directly in the database and is more efficient. So database is capital count and PHP array is small count function. Third question, they asked me indexing in PHP or indexing in MySQL. So index in MySQL, so there are generally 6 indexes. So an index in MySQL is a database structure that improves the speed of data retrieval operation on a table at the cost of the additional storage and maintenance overhead. It works similarly to the index of a book, allowing MySQL to find rows much faster without scanning the entire table. So type of indexes in MySQL. First, primary key index, so unique identifier for each row, automatically created when you define a primary key. So create table users int or id int primary key and name varchar 50. Second, unique index ensures all values in a column are unique. So create unique index IDX email on users email. Third, regular, that is non-unique index, speeds up queries for column with the duplicate values. So create index IDX name on user's name. Fourth, full text index. So for full text searches in large text fields, char varchar text, only supported on INNODB or MyISAM. So create full text index IDX description on articles description. Fifth, composite index. So index based on multiple columns. So create index IDX name email on users name email. Sixth, spatial index used for geospatial data. So how to use index? So create an index. Create index IDX column on table name column name. Drop an index. Drop index IDX column on table name. View existing indexes. Show index from table name. Benefits of using indexes. First, faster data retrieval. Second, improved performance of select, join and where queries. Limitations, slower insert updates and delete operation. Increase storage requirements. How many index can be built if we have 16 fields? So general limits for MySQL, that is INNODB. Maximum number of indexes per table 64. Maximum number of columns in a composite index is 16 column, and maximum key length 3072 bytes for INNODB. So index scenario of 16 fields. Given 16 fields, the theoretical combinations are single columns index. You can create 16 columns single columns index. Composite indexes, you can combine up to 16 columns in each index but are still limited to 64 total indexes. Example indexes combination. Single column indexes. Create index IDX field 1 on table name field 1. Create index IDX field 2 on table name field 2. So this gives 16 simple indexes. So composite index example. So create index IDX composite 1 on table name field 1 field 2. Create index IDX composite 2 on table name field 3 field 4. So here is how to create a table with 16 fields and add indexes in MySQL. Step 1. Create the table. Create table, example table. Field 1 int, field 2 int, field 3 varchar, field 4 varchar, ... field 16 blob. Step 2. Create 16 single column index. Create index IDX field 1 on example table field 1 and till create index IDX field 16 on example table field 1600. How can you add two arrays in PHP? So there are two concepts. One is merging and another is a combining. So merging array. So there is a function called array merge. Let us suppose you have two arrays, array 1 1 2 3 4 5, array 2 6 7 8 9, and then you have a variable merged equal to array underscore merge in the bracket $array1 comma $array2 and then print r merged. So this will give the output of 0 key and value in the form of the key and value. So 0 equal to 1, 1 equal to 2 and so on, 8 equal to 9. Now comes to the combine. Let us suppose you have the same arrays, array 1 1 2 3 4 5, array 2 6 7 8 9, and now you are taking one variable $combine equal to array underscore combine and in the bracket $array1 comma $array2, then print r and $combine. So it will throw an error. So argument 1 keys and argument 2 must have the same number of elements. So the issue is the function array combine array 1 array 2 requires that both arrays must have the same number of elements so that it becomes keys and values. So combining arrays, array combine is not suitable in this case because both arrays need to have the same length and we don't have key value pairs here. So if we want to correct it, $array 1 2 3 4 5 and $array2 6 7 8 9 10, and then you are using $combine equal to array underscore combine in the bracket $array1 comma $array2 and then print r $combine. So the output will be the 1 equal to 6, 2 equal to 7 and up to 5 equal to 10. So the explanations are array combine, $array1 and $array2 pairs element from array1 as keys and array2 as values. So 1 equal to 6, 2 equal to 7, 3 equal to 8, etc. So this was the first round, that is the telephonic round. Now the second round was the virtual round. So they asked me double inverted comma and single inverted comma in PHP. So first of all, I want to discuss the single quotes or single inverted comma. So PHP does not read variable inside. It shows text as it is. This is the case of the single inverted comma or single quotes. Let us suppose you have $name equal to Chandra, and then you are using echo hello $name, and inside the single quote. So the output will be the hello $name. In the case of the double quotes, PHP reads variable insides. It shows their values. So for example, you have $name equal to Chandra and echo, then inside the double inverted comma or double quotes hello $name. So it will read the variable. So the output will be the hello Chandra. So for plain text we can use the single quotes, and for when you need variable inside the string, then you can use the inverted double quotes. Another question they asked me, array functions in PHP. So array function, sort, replace, search, sum, count in array. String functions, split, explode, implode, strlen, str, pos and trim. Question number 3, they asked me static function in OOPS. In object-oriented programming in PHP, when you declare a static function, its scope in a class level, not object level. So the level is only the class level in the case of the static function. It belongs to the class, not the object. You can call it without creating an object. So use class user function name to call it. For example, you have class test and public static function show, and then echo hello, and then you are using the test and show. So this will show work without object. It will work. So in short, scope class level, call using class name method, and no $this inside. Question number 4, they asked me, you have to fetch color from an array. So let us suppose you have an array and you have the key value pairs there, A equal to apple, B equal to banana, C equal to cherry, and then you are creating an variable $values equal to array underscore value and $array, and the print are $values. So the output will be the 0 equal to apple, 1 equal to banana and 2 equal to cherry. Okay. Question number 5, explain keywords. So in MySQL, keyword is a reserved SQL word that has a predefined meaning and is used to perform database operations. For example, include, select, insert, update, delete and var. These keywords cannot be used as table or column name unless we are backticks. We use the backticks. Question number 7, page reloading optimization technique. So page reloading optimization means reducing or avoiding full page reloads to improve performance and user experience. This is commonly achieved using AJAX caching and partial page update. So only required data is refreshed instead of entire page. So common techniques, AJAX. So this is the most important. Load or submit data in the background without reloading the page. So AJAX call fetch data, update only required section. Second is the caching. So use browser or server-side caching to avoid the repeated data loading. For example, browser cache, query cache and session cache. Third is the pagination, that is the lazy loading. So load data in chunks instead of loading everything at once. Fourth is the optimized redirects. Avoid unnecessary redirects and reload loops. Question number 8, database optimization. Database optimization is the process of improving database performance by reducing query execution time and efficient use of resources. It is mainly done by indexing optimized queries, proper scheme design and caching. So the key techniques are indexing, most important. Create index or frequently search column to speed up select queries. Like so, create index IDX user email on user's email. Second, query optimization. Write efficient queries and avoid unnecessary data fetching. So, for example, avoid select star, use proper where condition, and use limit. Third is the proper database design. Use correct data type, normalization, and constraints. So, example, use int instead of varchar where possible. Normalize tables or to reduce redundancy. Caching. Stores frequently use data to reduce database hits. For example, query cache, application level caching, that is Redis and Memcached. Fifth, index and query analysis. So use explain to analyze your query performance. So explain, select star from user where email equal to test@mail.com. Okay. So they asked me, have you done this? So I said, yes, I have optimized MySQL databases by adding indexes, rewriting show queries, and using pagination and caching in the PHP application. Question number 9, they ask me .htaccess file in PHP. So htaccess file is created in order to enable extra feature for that subdirectory. You can use the .htaccess file to modify various configurations and thus make changes to your website. These changes include authorization, error handling, redirects for specific URLs, user permission, etc. So what is .htaccess? So .htaccess is a configuration file used on Apache web server. It allows you to control the behavior of your website or web directory without changing the main server settings. So the file is placed in a specific directory and the rules inside apply to that directory and its subdirectories. So what can .htaccess do? Redirect URLs, like sending old pages to new URLs. To write URLs, make URLs look cleaner or friendlier. Set up custom error page like 404 not found page. Control access, password protected folder, blocks IPs. Enable or disable features like the gzip or gzip compression. Enable caching for better performance. Example, redirect old page.html to new page.html. So redirect 301 old page.html to new page.html. So custom 404 error page. So error document 404 HTML. Why is .htaccess useful? You can change website settings easily without needing to edit the server configuration or restart the server. It gives more control to website owners or developer or shared hosting where server access is limited. What is caching in PHP? So performance and reduce server load. Caching, the main work of the caching is performance and reduce the server load. Simple concept of cache is in PHP. When a user visits a page without cache, PHP runs all code, queries, DB and generation HTML every time. With cache, PHP checks if a saved version exists and shows it directly, skipping all processing. Okay, so why use cache? Speed up page loading, reduce CPU DB usage, saves hosting server cost and better user experience. So type of caching. So what it stores? An example. Opcode cache, compiled PHP code. Example, APC use opaque default in PHP 7 plus. Second, HTML or JSON files, store rendered page data. Memory cache, key values in RAM, Redis memcached. Database cache, DB query result and cache heavy SQL queries. Fifth, PHP object or arrays in memory caching in app. So popular PHP cache tools, Opcache built in from PHP. APCU, shared memory cache. Redis memcached, RAM based, fast, great for large scale apps. Laravel cache, use Redis, file DB, etc. Symfony cache component. Best practice cache data that does not change often. Example, menus, blog posts. Use cache expiration to keep data fetch. Invalidate update cache when original data changes. Monitor cache size and memory usage. Page cache in CodeIgniter 4. In controller, public function index, cache the page of 10 minutes. This cache page 600, that is seconds, and returns views home. In app config cache.php, choose the handler. Public $handler equal to file or Redis memcache. So data cache in CodeIgniter 4. Example, caching database results. $cache equal to config service :cache. $key equal to product list and $data equal to cache get key. If data $data triple equal to null, not in cache, fetch from DB. So data $this product model find all. So cache save key data 300, that is cache for the 5 minutes. So return views products and product equal to data. So cache driver supported. You can use file $file default, Redis and memcache. Writable cache folder for file based cache. Configure in app config cache.php. So clear cache, to clear data cache config services :cache. Cache delete product list, cache specific. Cache clean, clear all. To clear page cache, delete files in writable cache. So the best practice is use pages cache for static page like home about. Use data cache for DB intensive logic like dashboard starts. Set expiration time wisely and clear or refresh cache when source data update. So cookies versus cache versus memcache. Okay, so cookies, small data stored in the browser. Cache, temporary storage, browser server. Memcache, a RAM based caching system. Purpose, cookies store user data like login preference. Cache, speed up app by avoiding repeated work. Memcached, cache data or object in the RAM for speed. Cookies, browser, that is client side. Cache, browser server file DB. Memcache, server RAM runs as a service. Cookies, browser and server via headers. Cache, front end browser cache or backend PHP. Memcached, backend used by PHP, Python, etc. Cookies has expiry, yes, set per cookies. Cache, yes, set per item or auto evicted. And memcache, yes, set per item or auto evicted. Size limit somewhere around 4 KB per cookies. Cache depends on storage type, that is MB is possible. Memcache around 1 MB per item. Total size depends on config. Cookies best used for remember your preference. Cache page queries or views. And memcached, cache DB result and session data or APIs. So use them. Cookies, you need to store small user data, that is for login token language. Cache, file browser, you want to avoid regenerating pages or requests querying DB. Memcached, you need super fast server side caching, especially for the large complex app. So for example, cookies. Set cookie, username Chandra, time plus 3600. So stores in browser. Cache, coordinator 4 or file cache. Cache equal to config service double colon cache, and cache save key data 600 stores in the file or Redis etc. Memcached coordinator enable memcache in the app config cache.php and public dollar handler equal to memcached. So use it $cache config service double colon cache save user data user 300 stored in RAM. So in short, cookies browser side small data, cache temporarily stored data anywhere, memcache ultra fast server RAM cache for backend data. Question number 11, they asked me database engines. So here is a simplified breakdown of the 4 SQL storage engine. INNODB best for application needing transactions, data integrity and high concurrency. So key features are support transactions, reliable data handling, supports foreign key, relationships between tables and use raw level locking, better performance when multiple users are accessing the data. So crash recovery to prevent data loss. Second is the ISAM. ISAM is index sequential access method. So best for older system with the simple read heavy application. So key features are no transaction, less reliable for complex operations, no foreign keys, no relationship between tables, table level locking, slower if multiple users are accessing data in the same time, and obsolete and not commonly used anymore. So this is the ISAM. Now heap, memory storage engine, best for temporarily fast data storage, example for caching or intermediate operations. So key features are in memory storage extremely fast, data disappears when the server restarts, no persistent data is lost when the system shuts down, and ideal for temporary data that doesn't need to be saved. MyISAM best for read heavy applications that don't require transactions. Key features: no transaction, no guarantee for data consistency, table level locking, slower if many user access the table at once, supports full text indexing, useful for searching text, and faster the read operations but not ideal for the concurrent writes. So the summary is INNODB best for application needing transaction and data safety. ISAM old engines, no transaction or relationships, rarely used today. Heap fast, temporary and in-memory storage for quick operations, and MyISAM good for the read heavy applications but lacks support for transaction. So these were the questions asked by the Express Healthcare, and the company location is Vadodara, Gujarat, and the interview date was the October 28, 2025. So I will share more interview questions with you. Till then, bye.